Greetings, Earthlings and race fans and others. We said we had a surprise for you. I bring you a true hero, a man of steel, an inspiration. I have goosebumps. In the bivouac in Saudi is a true star of Dakar. James Alexander, thank you so much for joining us. You, my friend, have written the most time in Dakar this year. Welcome to Raceday.tv.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me on board. Fantastic.
James, you're a warrior. You riding Malimoto. You are in the 80th, I think, position. Just get that right. 78. You've ridden for 55 hours and 36 minutes. How are you feeling today?
Well, you know, the first 4 days were great. We were finishing in the daylight, and day 5, I made a small error with fitting the front wheel on the night of day 4, which upset the handling of the bike. It put me in deficit, and I always knew I was going to finish in the dark, but by not quite such a margin. So that clip I sent of me in the first dune bank, and I re-watched it this afternoon and laughed because I mentioned in the clip that I hoped that there was just Jeep tracks from there, and little did I know there were 3 more dune banks the same size.
James, can I interrupt you there? Because we've got this clip. We want to show this clip to everyone.
I'm in the last part of the stage. That's what I've just been coming through. And really bad day today. Something wrong with the steering on the bike. I can't steer it properly. And I've crashed. Blew the airbag in the first 5 minutes, which was really dumb. But
wow, man.
Yeah, that's what they've got us coming. If I can just get through this dune belt in the daylight, then I think it's just Jeep tracks to the finish, which is about 70 k's away. But yeah, it's been a real tough one.
James, the exhaustion in your voice and but the determination comes through to get to the end.
Yeah, you can see how ripped up the actual route is there, and during the day you develop a bit of a system of going left or right because it's impossible to ride in the truck tracks. And little did I know at that stage that there were another 3 of those to follow. So yeah, I got into almost through the second bank of dunes. In fact, I've kept that section of the road book. I'm going to frame it and put it in a long frame in my office, because what I was then doing was winding the road book on, which I shouldn't have done, because then I would see just dunes the whole way, and that really freaked me out. But I developed a system in the dark of sort of parking the bike on a small rise and just looking ahead and trying to see, a bit like what I was doing last night. Last night we had a couple of really big ones to go over just before the finish, and I'll just guess away and then just hit it 3rd gear and bang it down to 2nd, and I was riding through bushes and falling all over the place, and yeah, it was quite a and then I got to June, the 3rd one. I think there were 4 in total, and just before, was it before the 4th one, I saw there's a whole bunch of local guys all camped out watching the stage, and I saw a fire there, and I'd finished all my water, I'd finished all my food, everything, and that must have been about 9 or 10ish, and then I stopped with these guys, and I was tempted to stay there by the fire for the night, but I gave myself 10 minutes with the guys, and
that's where you had a cup of tea,
super accommodating.
You had a cup of tea with them. We've got that clip.
That happened. That clip happened.
We're going to play that clip now.
Yeah, no problem.
We're going to play it.
No problem.
Guys, I'm in the last 10 k's of the stage, and I found these great gentlemen here.
Thank you.
Very good gentlemen. They're camping out in the bush here, and I'm so wrecked. They've kindly given me some tea, and let me show you the camp. It's really fantastic. Look at the carpets.
Yes, carpets.
Brilliant. And there's the poor bike. I've got like 10 k's left with one set of dunes. And thanks very much, guys.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
A cup of tea is magnificent. It's very nice.
And
And a great
James,
country.
how was those 10Ks? How were
Well,
those
the
10Ks?
10Ks, I don't know what they put in the chai here, but it definitely boosted me, especially 6 cups later. And funnily enough, the last night I did exactly the same thing with a different bunch of guys. Although last night wasn't as severe, but what made day 5 particularly harsh was the handling issue on the bike, but also CP4. We had to be there. They had a time gate there, and we had to be there by 6 o'clock, which I was. I think about 3:30 or something. So that added that was sort of lurking in one's mind the whole time, and that started the stress of the day. The handling of the bike, then CP4, and then I thought I would easily finish by say 6 or something, but the last set of dunes, that was I mean, when the bike, you develop different ways of picking the bike up, and it's not exactly a light bike. I think in the last 2 days I've dropped and lifted the bike must be 20 something times, and you develop a way of, if the bike's lying downslope, then you grab the wheels. You don't try and drag. Normally you drag it around 180 degrees and then stand upslope and lift it up, because it's a huge effort. You can't lift it up upslope. There's not enough power. So what I'll do then is grab the wheels and flick the bike over if it's facing the wrong way. Now the wheels are downslope. It's easy to pick up. You can gas it and get out of there. But all of this is happening in the dark, and every now and again a lonely side-by-side or truck comes cruising along, and you think, oh geez, I'm on the right route, because my navigation has got a lot better, I must say, in these 6 days. So I was able to navigate my way out of there. Although, to be honest, you've got this great big swathe that's cut through the dunes by the trucks. But the problem is you go so far off route to try and get over the dunes that you kind of wonder, did I go left of the track or right of the track? Because you're so exhausted at the time. So that's another issue. You're constantly kissing the edge of the track and then heading off to try and find your way over the next dunes. It's impossible to ride in the actual main track.
James, Steffi Vetter, you've given her grey hairs. She's ridden every kilometer with you. You've given her anxious moments. She's been with you all the way. Steffi, talk to James.
James, hello again. I'm so ecstatic to see your face. Apart from the fact that you've broken my phone, because we were all so worried about you. We heard that you had hypothermia, you were in sick bay. How are you feeling now?
Well, you know, it's amazing how one bounces back. The medical facility is really top class here. I was coming through hail. I came out of the control last night at 10 p.m. and you follow the pointer on the ERTF, and I stupidly took the wrong motorway. It kind of split, and that wasted another 30 minutes. So by the time I got to the control here, it was midnight, and I was shaking uncontrollably. I could barely ride the bike because it's really a lot colder up here this side. And so they took me immediately into the medical facility here, and the guys were brilliant here, and they looked after me for the night. And it's amazing once you've got your core temperature back down. And it was good also because they could dress a lot of I've had so much sand in my boots, my feet are trashed, and I've got a couple other grazes on the elbows and all over the place. So they were able to treat those and sort of started the process. I must say I struggled to get off the stretcher this morning, but incredible. I feel really good now after several meals and lots more tea. And I'm basically feeling I'm feeling amazing actually. It's quite extraordinary from this time last night.
James, we've got Andrew Horn who's looking after the comments from viewers and the level of support that's coming through from you. I've got to ask Andrew, talk to James and just share the level, no matter who we're talking to, they want to know, where is James?
James, yeah, big hats off to you.
Hi,
I
Andrew.
think I must be your biggest fan of at the moment. But the support coming in, I don't know if you're aware of it over there, but you've become a bit of a social media sensation with your antics. Uh, Stuart Gregory has come through and said, "You're an absolute legend. Keep it up. Have you sorted out your steering issues?" Is the first question. Your second question comes from Johannes Etzebeth, who's also been tuning in quite a lot, checking in on you. I think we did an interview with Glyn Hall earlier, and the first comment that came through is, please, could we have an update on James Alexander? So if you can answer Stuart's
really cool.
question. And Johannes Etzebeth asked me if you had camel milk in your tea in the desert.
Well, last night I narrowly missed out on with the guys. Last night they just finished the camel meat. I would actually have liked to have tried that, but no, they drink the chai without milk, and it's sort of black. It's very good. And to answer your question, I did a real novice error when I fitted the front wheel, because I'm unfamiliar with the bike, and it's a fantastic bike built by Baz Racing from Holland for me. What I did was I pinched the front forks. I didn't set, to cut a long story short, I didn't set the front wheel up right, and it affected the handling of the bike. But fortunately, we figured that out with a couple of the other guys, and I was able to rectify that for yesterday's stage. But yeah, it really messed the bike up, and it was, the problem is it's my fault. I accept that, but you're kind of working on these things in a half-broken state at night, and then when I did the oil change the day before, I'm riding on the liaison frozen solid again, and I'm thinking, gee, did I tighten the bolt on the top of the oil filter? And then I had to stop at the stage, and you've got a bit of time in the shoot before you go in, and I'm like, and all these things start playing with your head. That did I tighten this? Did I tighten that? But that was a lesson well learned, and basically, so any kind of deficit puts you into further deficit, and that's what I kind of did to myself on day 5.
But James,
how are you feeling going into a marathon stage now tomorrow, given what the last few days?
I feel pretty comfortable with it after I think I've done some marathon training recently, and yeah, I guess for us in Malimoto, unsupported at night, I guess it's look, I've never done a marathon stage on Dakar. It will be a first experience, so I feel pretty comfortable about it. They've given us some bags that we give them as an overnight bag, and I'm used to wearing kit that's dirty for days on end, so it's not the greatest thing. You wouldn't want to come and visit my tent at the moment, although it's actually fairly organized. I've got a system going, but that'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of days, and the whole bivouac can get a taste of Malimoto tomorrow night.
James, your life has changed forever through what you've been through, and discovered how much you can take and how much you can endure. And just thinking over the last week, and the smile on your face and the glint in your eye, you are 100% determined to get to the end. Am I right?
Absolutely, guys. Yeah, I've got some great people in Botswana. There's quite a number on my WhatsApp group. I've had a huge amount of help financially and so forth from people. I feel that they're all with me, and in fact, you're all with me on this one. And I'm utterly determined to get to the finish. Only something like motorsport is cruel. $100 part can stop the bike. So we try and put that out of our minds. The bike is beautifully built. It's looking a bit rough around the edges at the moment, but basically, yeah, I feel for everybody who's backing me, and I felt quite humbled by the amount of sponsorship that I received from various individuals and companies. So I feel that I represent the weekend warrior, perhaps the slightly older one, and I feel that I represent maybe the bulk of people who would like to try and give this a go. So I'm very determined to get to the finish.
James, do you have a message for older people. I'm 60 years old. Do you have a message for people like me looking at your achievement and having a dream of one day doing something bigger than we normally take on during our day-to-day lives?
Absolutely. I've got friends of mine in Botswana who are in their 60s, and we do a lot of cycling together. I've done a couple of Ironmans. I've met guys in their 70s who do that. I believe I stand to be corrected, but I believe we've got a 62-year-old in Malimoto at the moment. So to me, age is just a number, and you just got to put that number out of your mind. It is amazing, actually, I think you can only really find out what your body and mind is capable of when you put in a situation like day 5. And there's just like this tiny thread holding it all together. It's a bit like one boat towing another one in the water, but you're not using a tow rope, you're using a piece of fishing line, and it's sort of pulled really tight, and any moment it's going to snap. But yeah, you get very emotional in the dunes with yourself, and but I've never once questioned why I'm doing this, and that's my message to people. If you can do it, just do it. It's an experience of a lifetime. It's incredible, and I must say I'm also very grateful to have Ross as my mentor, and he has really paved the way for someone like myself to get to this great event, basically.
Steffi.
James, we've been talking about camaraderie on and off today. With the Raceday, we're trying to get a deeper insight. How's the camaraderie been in the Malimoto, the original bimodal camp? How have you found that? Have you particularly gelled with anybody? Are you very close? Are the guys close?
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about the camaraderie in the camp.
Absolutely, the guys get very close. I mean, I basically from day one we went on our warm-up ride with Ashish from India. I was very sad on the night of day 5. I found his bike on its side in the dunes, and I actually rode around in circles because I thought maybe it stumbled off and passed out somewhere. He got airlifted out with a head injury, and I've just spoken to him. He's back here with the bivouac, and very, very relieved that he's okay. It really worried me. That worked on my mind a lot because, and then it was obvious to me that they choppered him out of there. And in fact, the start of stage 6, the chopper came into the start chute and dropped his bike. It was very sad. It was very emotional for us to see that bike coming in, hanging under the helicopter. But you know, thank God he's fine, and he's going to basically ride from Neom. They're going to let him back in for experience because they want rookies to get experience on this.
It's unbelievable that you know the ASO they've made changes to help people and gain experience so that you can share the Dakar experience through when you go back.
Yes, absolutely. I think they want more rookies. They obviously want to promote the great sport, and they need to find a way of getting the guys to get the experience. Although there are rallies obviously all over the world, but this one due to its magnitude, I think it's very valuable for somebody like Ashish to be able to come back in and do a few more days at the end. Yeah, I think just the level of the scale of this event is they've definitely made the right move there.
James, the whole of southern Africa, anything on the African continent, in fact, below Egypt, we are 100% behind you. Know this when it gets tough, that we are morally with you. When it gets really hard, just open your heart, because we send you our love, our support, our whatever we can mentally, and the utmost of respect and to you, our true warrior. We, as Raceday, will open each day till the rest of the rally. Our first report will be the James Alexander Watch. We are 100% behind you, and I salute you, sir. You are truly a great man. Thank you so much for taking time out to chat with us, and may you have all the speed, and may there be downhills from here to the end of the rally.
Guys, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. You know, I can really feel it out there. I can not just feel my own group. I can just feel this vibe from Southern Africa, and that's really keeping me going. And I can't thank you guys enough. And I'll do my best to bring it home for everybody.
James, we thank you for the ultimate inspiration. Godspeed and health, and be well.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on the show. All the best there.
Take care,
Thank you, James.
James.
I'm blown away. I've got, I'm kind of a bit emotional as well. There's a lot of dust in this office. And what an inspiration. What a story. And we will start every day, the first thing, our James Alexander watch, even though he's out on the road, hurting, suffering, but he's riding. He will get to the end. We'll follow it. James, Horn Dog, Stephanie.
Well,
Just
yeah,
say
the
something.
comments have exploded. I can't. The support for James is absolutely incredible. If I started reading up all the names of the people with comments for James, Christina Olivier, Al Camino, Johan Etzebeth, there are just so many people saying, "Keep going. We want to see you at the end." It's the passion is huge. Sayone Baeti says he would love to meet James once he gets back to Botswana. You know, the gears that he is generating amongst everybody, I think, is the coolest thing in Dakar 2021.
Mega inspiration. What an inspiration. Steffi.
Colin, you know what? From our side, I would just you have no idea the energy on James's WhatsApp group. He's got an incredible support page right on that WhatsApp group. And I just want to tell those very special people who sit with Johan and I every night waiting for James to come in. You give us so much energy. You give us so much inspiration to carry on. We're there for you. We will never leave one of our own out in the desert, ever. We will go to bed when James gets in every single day. Haley, Clyde, Ben, Theda, Pete, Birgit, Bridget, there are so many of you. I can't actually, I can't go through all your names, but thank you so much for being so kind to us and for keeping us company every single night. It is so, so special to us. James, you're a legend.
A true and mega inspiration. Stephanie, from a mega day today, thank you for working through it with us, and Horn Dog for looking after the comments and the queries. We really do appreciate it. And to Fritz and Henk and the rest of the production team and those of you who've joined us, boys and girls and little furry animals, it's been a mega rest day. Today is Saturday. This is Dakar 2021, the South African influence. We look forward to joining you tomorrow for the first of the marathon days. It's going to be mega. Tomorrow we start at 6. Why? Because it's Sunday and because we can. Thank you so much for joining us. And James, I salute you. My hero.
Thanks, guys.
Our race day hero. Ride safe tomorrow.
Thanks a bunch.
My hero.
Thanks, guys. I will do.
With wings on your
I'm going to
back.
go and eat a lot now.
Good.
Good man.
Excellent.
Stay
Cool,
safe,
guys.
James.
Cheers for now. Thank you a bunch.
Thank you.
Cheers, James.
I'm blown away.
Cheers, guys.
And we out of here.
Good night,
Cheers, James.
everybody.
Go, James.
Thanks, guys.